Hello, friends! Welcome to Lemurian Bedtime Stories. My name's Miss Jess, and today we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics ever, which is animals. I love the environment, and I'm very interested in conservation, which is a big fancy word for protecting our wildlife and protecting all the natural elements on our earth. So today we're going to read a little story about a very famous conservationist as a child. The book is called Me, Jane, and it's by Patrick McDonnell. Jane had a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee. She cherished Jubilee and took him everywhere she went, and Jane loved to be outside. She watched birds making their nests, spiders spinning their webs, and squirrels chasing one another up and down trees. Jane learned all that she could about the animals and plants she studied in her backyard and read about in books. These look like some notes from Jane herself. One day, curious Jane wondered where eggs came from. So she and Jubilee snuck into Grandma Nut's chicken coop. Hid behind some straw and stayed very still. And observed the miracle. There's the chicken, there's the egg. It was a magical world full of joy and wonder, and Jane felt very much a part of it. Jane often climbed her favorite tree, which she named Beech. She would lay her cheek against its trunk and seem to feel the sap flowing beneath the bark. Jane could feel her own heart beating, beating, beating. You ever put your hand over your own heart and feel it? With the wind in her hair, she read and reread the books about Tarzan of the Apes, in which another girl, also named Jane, lived in the jungles of Africa. Jane dreamed of a life in Africa too. There she's imagining all these African animals around her at her home. A life living with and helping all animals. At night, Jane would tuck Jubilee into bed, say her prayers, and fall asleep. To awake one day to her dream come true. So this is the real Jane. This is the real Jane helping a chimpanzee. And then there's all sorts of little messages about Jane Goodall in the very back of this book, and a message from Jane. So if you want to ask your parents to pick this up from the library for you, it's a very wonderful book. And Jane and her love of animals, she took that love and she channeled it into becoming a conservationist and helping animals all over the world. And even more importantly, she shared about them with everyone so everyone else could grow passion inside of them to help and protect animals. And one thing that you could do, or several things you could do in your daily life to help with conservation, is you can make sure that you're recycling, that you're not wasting anything, like you're not wasting water, you're not using too much packaging when you make your lunches, or maybe when you pack a lunch to go on a hike, that you try and use as little bit of packaging as you can that would become trash. There's lots of different ways that we can protect the environment right from our home, and that's something that you might want to talk about with your parents, what you can do. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's story about Jane Goodall, and that you're inspired to help protect and save wildlife and the environment just like Jane. You all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you next time. Bye.